Good morning. This is me just up, and oh look, there you are. Look, that's the ointment that I put in my nose. To uh, help it not to be so sore. There you are. That's better. Yeah. Oh, I've got my lippy in. There you are. There's the hair. You know, kind of afro. But anyway, I'm uh, just like Camilla. I brush up, and I scrub up very nicely, right? What a load of shite. There was one there with Camilla, and I said last night when I was speaking to the heir to the throne, um, to Camilla and Diana, and what a gift that she was. And the thing is, Charles, you're talking about a load of shite. You're talking about an absolute load of shite. And listen, my great granny used to run to the toilet, and my granny she'd say, "Mother, why are you doing that?" Because and she'd say, "Listen," she knew she was very Christian and everything. She says, "It's only shite, and shite's in the Bible, right?" When Mary Black was in the Parliament, she said shite. That was good because they didn't condemn her, because what's in the Bible, that's it. There's more in the Bible than shite, I'll tell you that much. And that's another thing. See, when we all go to church, well, we used to go to church, and everybody's sitting there. I've had my sister's adopted sister in America saying things like, my Maria should be here to hear that. And even the one that I gave room over her head because the pastor asked me to, and we come out the church and she's saying she had to go to the corner shop because these, and she's condemning the poor Asian guy because he's charging too much for everything, and he could have got that at the dollar store. Excuse me, but that's a convenience store. I mean, he's in there night and day and night. So if he wants to put a wee bit more on, and if he goes to the dollar store for that, this is a Sunday, and that's what you've come out to. And then she's saying to Pastor, "Thank you, Pastor, that was lovely." What a load of crap, a lot of them. Hypocrites. Oh, listen, Burns did it well, didn't he? Didn't he? Holy Willie's prayer. There you are. Because that's what they're all like when they go to church. And Charles, did he want to be the heir to the throne? No. And all these stories that we hear about and here and there, what a life. I'll tell you something else. My granny's display cabinet, and when everybody was dying all at one time, even the Waynes that couldn't go to the funerals or whatever, and I'm saying, "Here, yeah, take that and draw something," So they're drawing bloody coffins and crosses, and because they were never out of hospitals, they were getting dragged everywhere. Big extended family, and I woke up one day, my the holy God, here's me and three Waynes, and that was it. And the extended family gone. Anyway, don't worry about that. Hello, I'm still here, because that's what I came off. Good stock. Good stock. But what a load of tripe. And him, did he want to be heir to the throne? And no, and Gordonston and everything, and his father, and they go on about that, and people don't realise what Prince Philip did, and that was hard for him as well. And what they're doing in their marriage has got nothing to do with anybody else. What I was doing in my marriage, my husband was doing, and we could have made it for different things. And it's nobody's business but ours. Nobody's business. And you know that he loved her. with a passion. And she loved him. And she picked him with a passion. And do you know how she feels today or whatever? Well, why wouldn't she feel like everybody else? Do you think she's no bloody human? Do you think you can get over something like that? And she does it with a smile and a hat. And another thing, I've written a bloody poem. You know, you think that's what she's there for? So that you can all laugh at her bloody hats? And see you, the journalist that was sitting next to Camilla when she was getting her hair done, etc. Talk about past remarkable. Here's another one. Do not tell me that Diana would not be alive today if it had not been for murder. Don't tell me that. Ask Polly Toynbee. Ask her to ask him about his wife, the first wife, who was a journalist as well, and she came from Glasgow. And she found out something very important about her life. She found that out. And because of that, ask her how she managed to clean him out. Clean him out. So there you are. The other journalists, Oprah, who's she kidding? She's no funding Obama. And I voted for Obama twice. Second time around, there was nobody else around. And that's how bad it was, polarising in America. And what he's been doing since then, oh, that's treason. And all these inks and Amazon, etc., you know, and the richest man in the world. And if he thinks that I don't know from LinkedIn when Warrington's on it, or Dunfermline, and it's all his employees, hello, hello, and the folk that he's got running the empire of the door knocks, and it's Amazon, efficient, etc., that all of that, and he's not to thank Carnegie. And tell me something else in the press. We're looking for the press that tells the truth. So how come we've got people like Hancock, etc., and also the other one that when he's had enough of it, they shove another one up. And he's saying things like in the hospitals, the surgeons have to have injections to protect them from the diseases and the viruses that they might get. You know, excuse me, but I've got to get jabbed and jabbed and jabbed until they finally get a hold of something that'll give some sort of response to what they're giving me, so that I don't get viruses affecting my liver, etc. And then I can go to work. If I don't get them and I don't get the response, I do not get into the hospital to work. So what are they all talking about all these ethnics, etc., that are, you know, working in there and they're not getting the jab? Now, the point I'm making about ethnics as well, I've been in their houses, an absolute a mess with not cleaning and thick shite stuff all over sinks and everything else, and it's nothing to me, and I'm trying to help somebody who's in distress, and I'm cleaning it all up as well. And by that I'm not saying anything out of turn, right? You can come in here and complain about bits and pieces if you like, and that's what can I do about it, you know? But if it's my house and you're coming in and complaining, I will have something to say about it. So anyway, then there's I was losing the thread there. the all the things that the people go on about journalism and clearing up the sludge, etc. And nobody's got one good word to say about Trump. Even the actress who played the mother in The Pianist, she was speaking the other day there. And you know that Trump is actually synonymous with racist? Excuse me, but I mean, all the journalists are all saying that. And even Sky, of course, Sky and, I wouldn't like to tell you what my password is for Sky. But anyway, they were interviewing people in America, and half of America voted for Trump. And for 4 years, none of us could say a word. You couldn't, because that would mean that, I'll tell you the truth. My adopted sister, all our lives, we loved each other. I loved her. And she never spoke to me because she found out that I had voted for him. And I'm afraid I have the right to do that. And it's a democracy. And, these things that separate people. But we're not silent anymore. And you can't say that if it's a democracy that there won't be problems with voting, etc. Oh, listen. All around there's problems. And it wouldn't happen in a big, big country, the most powerful country in the world. And German people, arrogant, racist. Oh well, there's a few German people and German-speaking people in this country and in our parliament. And I actually looked after German people in the house, the school people. I sent them to a multiracial school because I knew that the multiracial people were interested in real learning. And they were supposed to go to the school down the road, but in the school down the road they were getting eggs and flour and throwing it at the bloody theatre. That's it. In you go. Just bus yourselves in to Woodside, and that's where they went. But when the German people came over and they hadn't a place to stay, I looked at it. I said, tell them not to go stay in the dormitory. Listen, bring them here. And we had 11 in the house, and they were beautiful people, very Italian, very emotional and very kind and very thoughtful and very diplomatic. I wasn't taking a penny from them, and we had great fun. And I gave them money, and I'd say to them, because they kept on coming back from the town, and the bus would take them into Knightswood. It was the last bus, take them into Knightswood Depot. So I said, if you get stuck like that, just get a taxi and just come back here, And that was it. And they came up to me one day and said, we got a tremendous deal with the change of our money, and we would like to say thank you. So please let us say thank you to you. Oh, my goodness. And at that point in time in Glasgow, they were saying, "Hey, hon, how you doing, hon?" And they were very upset about that. And I'm saying to myself, why should they be punished for the rest of their life for what folk did? They weren't even here when these people did all these things. And did they do it there? And would what about us? What the hell do you think we've got here today? Hey, and your Boris, he's a liar, he's a journalist, and he's been proven to be spoiled. And the police heard that, and it was recorded. And the folk that lived next door to him, well, they have moved since then. But he's out of score. He's definitely the arch gambler, the 3 cross double guy, and then he doubles down, and he's got all our he's running out of money. He's running out of money. Mark my words. Yeah. So, as I say, the journalists and the fake news won't guess what, the richest man in the world. He's buying up all the press, and the guy that owns Twitter and Square, he managed to put the president off, and several times, and Facebook have now put him off. Well, I've got news for Facebook, Twitter, and all of you. I'm dealing with LinkedIn, but they're all into that as well. But what do I care? What on earth do I care? Because the mills of God grind slowly, and they grind exceedingly well. And I found out something at the pandemic, and that was how powerful I am. My pension. It's only one pension. There's a lot of pensioners, so we're all still here. And then there's the broken biscuits and broken biscuits. And they're no connecting up with us and them, And we've got to protect the children. And we can't wait around for this care. And they put out to care and put out to care. And in the meantime, back at the ranch, we're all dead. And I've been writing for, and Rishi Sunak, and he thinks he's the next one in, because I've checked them all out. And we're dealing with Indians that have all got this. And about India, the poor and Mother Teresa. And then you've got the rich. And the rich that have just taken over Kashmir. Oh, great, fancy. And they've taken over steel, etc. and hydroelectrics, etc. And it's another Indian that's in charge of that. And guess who is the managing director of that? A steel Lonro. Aye, that'll be right. My mother was the central buyer for the House of Fraser, and she had 39 different shops, and she made a profit for Sir Hugh every year. And then Murdoch came, and he's a Republican, and he's the one that paid the money to the person who recorded Diana Squidgy. And then there was Bashir and the lies that he told to increase her paranoia. Don't tell me she wouldn't still be alive. Don't tell that to me. And now you're having a go, and you're having a go at the heir to the throne and the money. Back to my granny and the display cabinet. All over the world, if my granny leaves the display cabinet to me, common law, all over the world, it's mine. So, when Cromwell was here and he sacked Dunbar, and you want to see how he left Holyrood, and he did the same in Northern Ireland, etc. And then he realised that he needed a king. He'd taken the heat off the wine, and then he brought him back again. And when he brought him back, they did a deal. So all of these crown lands, they belong to him. Now, Westminster. Has he got more land in London than the Queen? What are you saying about him? Is he in the press all day? Is he, how many mistresses has he got? And what is he buying them? And you're going to deny Camilla? Oh, he's peace. He's peace. I've got lots of things to do. And I love you, Camilla. My God, Henry. I've been through so much and knew life when life was a lot better. And it will be again. But we must help each other. We must help. We must care. We must care. And I think journalists, you gotta be ashamed of yourselves. What shite! And that's what the woman up the stairs used to say. The papers. It's a lot of dite and dirt. It's just a lot of dite and dirt. And we're up to the neck in the most incredible plastic and, etc. And we know exactly what's wrong with the world and how to do it and get it fixed, and that's it. And instead of that, we're all been about like hens without heads and, and the chaos. And, well, that's good for the journalists as well. And you must be feeling the pinch because the paper stuff is not there anymore. No, we're all into digital, and Sky and everything, and the BBC needing cleaned out. Oh well, I'm sure that's going to happen. But Camilla, it's just like this, Camilla. I do want you to know that I'm sure that you'll be nothing but good for all of this world, and there was nobody more loyal, and it was so difficult, and poor Diana, and the boys, I know that they care about you, and I know that they everything that goes on with all of you is something that makes you all happy, and that's that. And there's no law breaking or whatever that people would not know about. But I do not presume anything. I just know that apart from anything else, I love the royal family. But I need her. I need her to set aside her life for us, to protect us from Thatcher, Theresa May, Boris, Gordon Brown. And when she didn't come down to London, it's because she was quite sure that she was within her own realm, and that she was in Balmoral. She couldn't understand it. She couldn't fathom it, what had happened. But the world had gone to pot. And she just tries to do her best. Oh, I'm not done with any of you. I'm not done with any of you. And the National. And you, Alex Salmon. Having a go. I'm looking to be working with you. And Kenny McCaskill. Although I don't know that Kenny is tarred with that brush. But there's a lot of folk. And they think she's a target. I don't mean you were targeting her, Alec. And I wouldn't take away from you anything in any way of what you've done for Scotland, and you're still doing now, and you will go on. And we need brand new laws, and we need everything sold up tight from this branch economy sold up tight with all these, we've got to get these patents and whiskey. We don't own anything. All the Lalique and all them and Mattel, and no wonder Trump put the tariff on the whiskey. And I'm thinking, because he wasn't a politician, he was a businessman. And if you're looking for peace all over the world, do business with him, that you can. But to me, there's going to be two systems. There's going to be barter, there's going to be gifts. And this business of even, what's her name? Malone down there, and these Jacobites and everything, bloody Jacobites. And you realise that you think Boris is bad in Downton Abbey and he's after the cash, but all these other English, I knew they've just done a survey and 20% of them want to say just off you go then, Fintan O'Toole said it. About how they feel about themselves. But when I came back up from London and I said to my mother, we're so different, I thought we were the same, but we're so different, And she said, they do think of themselves as being a yardstick for the world. Well, of course they do. And she couldn't have said anything that was mere right. And there's nothing we can do about it. And I'm telling you, I have got no more time before the cross to get Scotland fixed. They've got to get on with it on their own. Most of them don't even know or realise what on earth is happening, and it's a shock to them. Oh, they want to be free. Oh, my God. Oh, Anyway, so far so good. You're making me angry, Alec. You're making me really, really angry with you. I think that'll be enough for today. Just for today. That's all I've got. It could be a drop deed in a few seconds. Oh, Kevin. Oh, Rab C. And the nearly were right. I have.